Hey there everyone, Luke here, and finally getting to another Dr. Stone video. Now, what I love most about all of this is, despite the fact that Dr. Stone ended and it's over like the main manga series, people are still keeping it alive. Like we've got the anime still coming. There was that one shot that happened. Which could potentially lead to more Dr. Stone further down the line. So yeah, Dr. Stone, I feel like it's always going to be around for years to come. For years to come, I feel like that's gonna be a case. I feel like we are actually going to get the entire series animated as well. I feel like that's a given, considering how popular Dr. Stone is, how relevant it is, and we've just had the stage show as well in Japan. Which again, I hope someone really does give us a chance to get a pay to watch situation with that with English subtitles. But anyway, this is kind of different because we're going to be talking about the anime as well, and potentially what will be coming in season 3. So let's just get right on with it. Alright, so the way I decided to go about it was, I had it here, changing some predictions for season 3. Basically, what I feel like is going to be different from the manga to the anime. What I feel like is going to be added, going to be subtracted. One of the things that I feel like should be added is the scene between Magma and Mantle, because that's important for Magma's character and shows his development from the beginning of the series. So I feel like that, which should have been in the Ryusui special, will get transferred into season 3. Whenever that happens, I can't really say. Hopefully it gets transferred before they actually go on the Perseus. But yeah. And I also gave predictions of like how many episodes we're going to have. Like, I tried to manage it as best I can to make sure that the flow of the anime works well. The absolute max that I can see is 20 episodes, which is not unusual because Jaiki-sama had that for their first season. They had 20 episodes. Or maybe if you want to stretch it out to like 24, but then that means like going off the pacing, and I feel like the moments that I've picked in the manga, they just work for the ending of certain episodes. But anyway, let's just get into it. So episode 1 of season 3 will cover chapters 90 to 92. That's the main prediction I'm gonna have that I've got going on. Now, the reason why I feel like it's going to end on chapter 92 is because 90 is after the chapter that ended the Ryusui special. I feel like 92 would be the perfect one because that would introduce Francois, which their character was mentioned in the Ryusui special, so I feel like it would make more sense to be like, oh right, so this was the character that Ryusui mentioned, so that anime fans get a clear idea of like, okay, they were mentioned in this episode, now they're going to be introduced in the episode after. That's kind of my prediction of where it would end, and it would end if I could actually find it. Yeah, if I could actually find it. Yeah, here we go. It would end on this panel right here where they've made the bread and it said bread acquired. So that's pretty much where I would end it. Now, as for the context, I feel like there'll be another brief recap. I feel that's guaranteed because the anime is coming out next year. So I feel like we'll need another brief recap to get us all caught up to speed. And maybe Kohaku explains Ryusui to the elders. So like the elders are just like, who is this dude? And she explains like, oh, it's Ryusui, we met him on this island, we found him, we revived him. And I feel like Shuffle, because if you remember in the manga, right after landing, yeah, here it is, right after landing, you see a kid greeting Senku. So I feel like Shuffle will be the kid that will replace that random kid. I don't know why I'm picking Shuffle. I just feel like she's one of the characters that really could have done a lot more in the series. Like, if I was going to pick one character that really seemed like, oh, she was going to do a lot in the series, but didn't really, it would be Shuffle. Sean Oldry has his own favourites like Turquoise. I'm sure he would find more of her to do in the series. But yeah, Shuffle seemed like one of the ones that stood out the most because she had her pigtails up and she had the buck teeth. Seriously. Justice for Shuffle, justice for Shuffle, justice for Turquoise. Yes, yes, OG, giving your waifu some love and attention there. But yeah, so we also have like a map of the area as well, from like Tsukatsu's from Empire to Ishigami Village, which I feel like Mecha Senku is going to explain that. We're going to get a cameo from Mecha Senku and explain that. This is all what I feel like is going to happen in season 3, like the changes and predictions. Now there's a moment here that I feel like will actually come earlier, because you see, again, if I can find it, the panel where. Where's the panel? It's somewhere around here, so I apologise about this, guys. Yeah, here it is. So you have this guy here who's reminiscing about his parents being petrified, and you have a moment later on in the chapter where Taija explains what happened to his parents, how they died when he was younger. I feel like that moment will come right here. So that's the only moment I can see really being changed from the chapters in episode 1. But yeah, let's move on to talking about episode 2. Now episode 2 I feel like is going to be one of the ones that is going to add the most, which is why I only included chapters 93 and 94, because 94 ends with Sega discovering that Segure is the pig actually can find the truffles and basically the oil that they want. So I feel like that would be a funny moment for it to end on, unless they want to like put chapter 95 in and end on the cliffhanger of Weimar, but I feel like that should be saved for like its big episode, because you get not only Weimar but also the reveal of who the 5 commanders are. But anyway, one thing that I forget to mention is that I feel like we might get more of like the construction of the camera itself that Miyamiya gets. So yeah, I feel like that's one thing that will be added. But also I would like to see more interactions between Suika and Fran, because I feel like they work well together, and it would be great foreshadowing for what happens in South America. And Fran might even compare herself to Suika, being someone who just wanted to be useful to the Nanami corporations. That's why they got so good at all the skills that they did, because Fran is fluent in English, French, and Japanese, so that they can understand those languages. And I feel like they did that just to be useful to an anime corporation, which is why I feel like she'll compare herself to Suika. And again, this might actually lead into getting more from the past, from Fran's perspective of like why they exactly joined an anime corporation, when they exactly joined, when were they assigned to Ryusui, how long they've actually known Ryusui. And we might actually get a Psy reference here if we get more of the past from Fran's perspective. We might get Fran mentioning like, oh, Master Ryusui, your brother has gone off. I'm so sorry about that. We might just get that one reference of Psy, because one of the things that really could have being used is Sai getting a mention before his introduction in the manga. So yeah, maybe just like one reference of just like, hey, your brother's gone off somewhere, Master Ryusui. And Suika might actually question the whole master thing. She might actually be like, say to Fran, like, why do you call everyone Master Fran? And Francois, and Fran will probably explain to Suika like, oh, it's just a formal thing. I do that with everyone. It's just my thing, and it makes me feel comfortable to know that I can respect people for their abilities and their talents, and that might actually get Suika just more motivated, like someone outside of the kingdom of science, someone that she's only just met actually believes in them. So that might be something that will boost Suika's character, which is something I would actually like. Now, as for episode 3, again, like I said, this would cover, if we're going on this angle, this would be the introduction to Y-Man, and it would cover 95 to 97, which would end, let me find it. 95 to 97. 97, which would cover the rest of Volume 11. So the first 3 episodes, we get the rest of Volume 11, which would be kind of similar to what happened with Volume 10. How it was basically 3 episodes for the review special, and that covered the rest of Volume 10 and 1 chapter in Volume 11. So I feel like we're going to get the same. We're going to get the same thing here. So yeah. The Gorilla Car will probably have Suika. Will probably have Suika in there because she's with Senku. During that time. During that time, and as we know, the Gorilla Car. Because Suika's right there with Senku. Suika's right there with Senku at the phone, and then immediately Senku is in the car with everyone else, going to meet Chrome, and you see this one little figure right there. I don't know if you can see them, but they're in between Senku and Ryusui in the car. Now I'm almost certain that is Suika, and we're going to get like more official Suika is in there, and yeah, we might actually get Suika being in the minecart. Who knows? And maybe an explanation to the from Mecha Senku to how the network actually works. So I feel like that would all cover episode 3, which would be really good. And maybe we might actually get the explanation of like why the commanders are the commanders from the Q&A. So that would be episode 4. So oh yeah, and one thing that I'm gonna have when we get to that would be episode 3. So now we can move on to episode 4. But yeah, there's one thing that I'm gonna be saying for episode 4, which will be the start of Volume 12, is that we need more from the Ryusui flashback. I feel like that's a guarantee. We need more for Ryusui's flashback, and maybe get more moments from the time skip that could potentially be the remainder of episode 4, just like moments from the time skip. But one thing that I don't want to happen in this is when they're actually going to the Perseus, because episode 4, that will be like when they've actually gone and they're heading off to Treasure Island. But yeah, one thing that I don't want is that I don't want Kokyo, Ruri, and Kohaku's father or Mantle to be part of this, because they were brought along and they did absolutely nothing, like literally nothing. They were brought along to Treasure Island. They did absolutely nothing. It's like they disappeared until the end of the arc. Like seriously, do not bring them along. Have their lines be for other characters. Just don't bring them along. I feel like we can do without them. They were so irrelevant in the Treasure Island arc. It makes you wonder, like, why did Boichi and Inagaki even include them? So yeah, don't bring them along. But yeah, I feel, and also when we get to the moment where Soyuz actually makes his proper introduction, we need all the moments from the anime where he's actually showed up, so that people are like, oh yeah, it's that background character that we've been seeing all this time. Finally, we get to find out what he's all about. Now, the next few episodes I feel like would be properly adapted. So we have episode 5, which cover chapters 101 to 102, which will 102. Let me get the volume. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. So 102. Oh no. 102. Where are you? Where are you? 102. Oh, Flaming Nora. Flaming Nora. Where is? Oh, it's down here. Yeah. Here we go. So put that to one side for a second. So let's just quickly move along. To 101 will be basically the official start of Treasure Island. So episode 5 will be the official start of it. we'll probably need more from Byakuya in this when we see his flashback, which yeah, we're gonna be getting a new voice actor for Byakuya, because sadly the original Japanese voice actor passed away. Rest in peace to him. But Byakuya still has moments in Treasure Island, so yeah, they're gonna need to get someone new for those moments. But yeah, 102 is yeah, where they've just arrived to Treasure Island. So in episode 5, I feel like the moments that will get the most expanded upon is the more in-depth tour of the Perseus, like when we have that panel of just showing the Perseus and all its different compartments and everything. I feel like we'll get more of an extended tour and more like filler moments in those certain areas. So yeah, that's the thing. Probably a more in-depth explanation on the cure for seasickness. But that's really all I got down about episode 5. Episode 6 will be another 3 chapters covering chapters 103 to 105, and I feel like the most important thing is explaining how Suika actually snuck onto the Perseus, because you feel like someone would have actually noticed that. Even when they were deciding who's to come along, you feel like someone would have noticed. Because you see it on the land, saying like, "Wow, we've completed the bow and everything," and then she just vanishes, and literally no one's just been like, "Oh, Suika, there you are." Yeah, you can't go. Like, seriously, we need an explanation of how she actually snuck on board. I mean, I know she's stealthy and detective, but I doubt at that point nobody is not going to notice that. Hey, Suika's not here. Where is she? Like, somebody has to notice, so we need a moment that explains exactly how she snuck aboard. So that's really all I had for episode 6, which would end when after Amaryllis has actually joined the party. Yeah. So it'd be let me find it. So it'd be this panel right here, where they have Amaryllis actually join them, which I feel like is a great way. It's a great one. Episode 7 will of course be the introduction to Ibarra. Let me see. Which is another three. So chapter 106 to 108, and of course it will introduce Ibarra. So episode 6, episode 7 is where we'll introduce Ibarra, and it would end on Suika actually popping out. So literally episode 6 would be on Suika actually disappearing for a whole episode and then coming back at the end of episode 7, which I feel like would make the most sense. So yeah, the only thing I had on here is like explaining the full card deck, just not only for the sake of adding for time, but also just like merchandise. We're gonna have a Dr. Stone card game. Like, I want the cards in this series to be proper cards in real life, so that I could just buy the deck and look at all the cards myself and get it for each one of the characters, from the Kingdom of Science to the American Colonies to Treasure Island. Like, just give me every one of those cards. Now, episode 8, which would end on them making the drone, so chapters 109 to 111. Really, I had nothing. I could not find any moment which I would change or add to. I feel like that's probably the only one of only a few episodes. Looking at my notes so far, yeah, it's except for the last 2 episodes. Which we'll get into when we get to them. But yeah, episode 8 is the first one where I would not change anything. I would not add anything. I feel like it would flow absolutely perfectly. So now we can move on to episode 9, which would be chapters 102 to 104, which I believe, if I remember it correctly, 103. 104. Here we go. Yeah, which would end on the silent bomb and enough flashback of Byakuya, which I added that okay, you need more of the Byakuya flashback, but also more to do with Ibara, because this is where we actually get into discovering how much of a douchebag Ibara actually is. So I feel like we need more of a backstory to figure out like okay, what was he like in his younger days? We only got the bare minimum in the manga, so this would be the perfect golden opportunity to expand on that, and more of deducing the cryptic message of the plastic. I feel like we need more. We need more of that for episode 9. Episode 10 would be chapters 115 to 117. So 117. Because 115 is the last chapter of this volume, I believe it is. Yeah. So this would end volume 13, episode 10. Moving on to volume 14, I did have it down here. Nope, it's not there. So it's down here somewhere. Yeah, it's this one. It would end on chapter 17, 1117. So, yeah. So it would end on like the cliffhanger of rescuing Kazuki's statue. So again, like I said, more moments with Byakuya, because this is the because chapter 1115 is where we actually get the death of Byakuya. So I feel like we need more moments of him, and more moments of Senku actually laments the fact that his father is gone, and maybe get more moments of just explaining like who all the children are to Byakuya, Lillian, Connie, Shemez, and the two of it. Like, oh, I cannot remember the other two astronauts' names. I know Shonen Oji or Party will probably put them down in the comments, but yeah, we need more moments with them to explain like who all the kids are, and how exactly it actually worked between them. Like how many kids did they actually produce before it was only Byakuya by himself, and also more moments of Mosu actually just spying around and just being like, oh, I can see them. Just more moments of him just being like sinister. Now, episode 11. Oh, this is one that I was looking forward to. I feel like it will cover just 2 chapters. So, chapter 118 and 119, because 119. Because oh no, it was yeah, it was episode 12, but yeah, 119 ends on the drone being acquired. Now and we'll probably have more science behind the drone, but yeah, episode 12 covers chapters 120 to 122. More a more detailed flashback for the master, and more again mind games going on here, because not only will we get Ginryu discovering the master statue, we'll also get Ginryu on the verge of death. We'll get Kohaku and Ginryu being petrified, and chapter 122 would end on Mozu actually yeah, it ends on Mozu actually finding out what's going on, and finding the actual Sapphire Caves with everyone in it. So I feel like that would be, and it goes into Mozu starting to have his mind games with Gen, which I feel like would be absolutely incredible. Did I put anything down for? No, didn't put down anything for episode 13, which let's 125 I said it would end on. So yeah, that would so episode 13 would cover the rest of volume 14, moving on to volume 15, which would sorry I'm getting a bit out of breath here, but it's kind of hard to keep track of everything, and I'm a complete idiot for doing that. But yeah, 125 would end on this cliffhanger, where we're actually getting prepared for the final battle. And episode 14 would start the final battle. So yeah, okay, yeah. From now on, I could not figure out what changes, or what predictions would actually happen, or what I feel like should be added. Because episode 14 begins the final battle and it covers chapters 126 to 127. Because 127, if I can find it. Yeah, 127 would end on this cool shot of magma, and and yeah, the only thing that I added, because it ends on Ibarra announcing like, oh, we're going to petrify the entire island. The only thing I had for episode 14 was Soyuz's father flashback, another one about another one involving Soyuz's father. But yeah, for the next 3 episodes, 15, 16, for the next 2 episodes, 15 and 16, I wouldn't change anything, and that would cover chapters 128 to 133, which would cover 130 ends with let me find it. 130. Yeah, 130 ends with Yoga deciding whose side he's gonna be on, and he starts his battle with Mosu. And episode 16 ends on chapter 133, which is just the start of the petrification of the entire island, and covers the rest of volume 15. So those are the only things that I could actually. Those again are 2 other episodes that I feel like no chapters need to be changed. Like, nothing needs to be changed. Everything from the start of the battle to the petrification of the entire island, I feel like is absolutely perfect. Now, episode 17, which would be just 2 chapters as well, because I feel like, because after the whole petrification, we might get again another detailed flashback from Ibarra's perspective of what he was actually going to do to Soyuz, and how Soyuz actually escaped. And also we would get, because it would end on, let me find it. Yeah, because it would end. It would end on the self-driving car, and Senku would need like a lot of time to explain like how he survived. So I feel like that could just be the entire second half of the episode, just explaining like how Senku actually survived, and taking his time with it. And I said more science from Senku. Now, episode 18, again 2 chapters, because this would end the battle. So episode 18 would end with Senku reminiscing like, oh, he's alone, and then he gets the call from Rui and he's like, oh, I'm not alone. Which I added more moments with Senku alone, just like flashbacks, maybe getting some flashbacks from his time with everyone, and just dealing with the fact like, oh, he has all these friends now, but they're all petrified, and then all of a sudden he gets a call from his ex-wife, and then that's when he realises he's not alone. And maybe more moments from the battle between Ibarra and Senku, because it's literally just Senku just throwing stuff at Ibarra until he gets to Wave Blade Cliff. And I feel like there could be more traps around that Senku sets up to kind of trap Ibarra, but they all fail. I feel like we could get more from that, and maybe some more battle injuries from Senku. Now, after that, I literally had nothing. Like episode 19 and 20, like I said, had nothing, and episode 20 would end on chapter 142, which would cover the rest of chapters 141 to 142. So I had 140, 141 and 142. So, and it would end on that one, which would be the end of season 3. Now, if I was to take out those 2 chapters, and maybe reduce a couple of episodes to maybe just 2 chapters, we could get like 18 episodes. But I feel like any on the announcement, like, we're going to America, I feel like that would work as well. And maybe we might actually get another like special of them, just like the journey to America, covering those chapters which had the poker game and the casino, and then they arrive in America, and that's when we officially start the America arc. I feel like, because those chapters, they're only like 5 chapters, which would be the same length, which would be partially the same length as the Ryusui special. So I feel like we could just get those chapters as its own special, as its own hour-long special, just covering the boat trip to America. That's just basically what I had. Now, those are my predictions for season 3 of what will change and what I feel like will be added. I don't know if it's going to go exactly like that, but that's my ideal length, 20 episodes for season 3. I feel like that is a decent amount to do the rest of Age of Exploration and the whole of Treasure Island and the little bit leading to them going to America. But or maybe they'll just do maybe they'll just do 22 episodes and just adapt those chapters going to America, and it ends up with them arriving in America. That could be a potential that they actually do. That's a route they could take it down, and we get 22 episodes, which will be the same length as the anime for Your Lie in April. So yeah, either 20 or 22 episodes, depending on if they're actually going to add in the American art. And if it's 24, then they'll definitely be adding in the trip to America. They'll definitely be adding that if it's 24 episodes, because with the pacing that I've given with those chapters, I cannot see it any other way, unless they really want to slim it down to the absolute bare minimum of just being like, okay, we're only going to do up to them announcing that they're going to America, and that's going to be 24 episodes. But I feel like if they really want to pace it well and they really just want to do the 24 episodes, just adapt the America trip. Because they could do that. They could get the interview and then we could get like the recap, like have that be one recap episode. So yeah, that's basically all I had. So I'd like you guys to comment exactly what you feel of these predictions as well, and see if they will actually adapt the trip to America for season 3 to make it up to 24 episodes. Because so far I've only got 20 episodes, and again, if they really want to slim it down, 22, slim down 2 more episodes to just 2 chapters, get another episode in there, and then get like three episodes to do the trip to America. That's all I can say. But anyway, guys, hope you liked this video. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Be on the lookout for the catch-up chapters for chapter 2 and chapter 3, which will be coming in the coming week. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.